Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana. We're here today with special guests, Mordy Levine and Lama Lhanang Rinpoche, who is here to share with us their new book, The Buddha in You, A Beginner's Guide to Buddhism, From Karma to Nirvana. So can a few minutes of reflection each day really change how you experience your life? Well, today's guests are here to share with us just that. Rinpoche was born in historic Tibet and received traditional education in a monastery and later studied under several respected Tibetan lamas. Today he teaches Buddhism at a center in San Diego, California. Mordy Levine is an entrepreneur and meditation teacher. He created the Meditation Pro series, a meditation program designed to alleviate chronic health issues. So welcome to the show, Mordy and Rinpoche.
Thanks, Marianne. Thanks for having us here.
Thank you very much.
Well, what an honor it is to have the both of you here to talk about your new book. So why don't we start with Rinpoche? What was the inspiration behind writing this book?
Actually, writing this book is everything is behind this Mordy. So he's a very beautiful person. When he says something, he does. So a few years ago, he's talked about this, and I said, yes, but many people talk about this same thing to me, but nobody kind of conquered anything. So Modi told me in the beginning, then okay, and then he really started. He's the one does the work because my English is in my second language is not good. So you see, anything benefits others. That is kind of my work. Anything I say, I try to benefit others. Anything I think, how to better the world and how to benefit for future generations. Anything I do, how to make a difference in the inner circle of the family, sangha, to the world. That is I focus my life. So, and really the who is the doing the other work patiently, kindly, really focusedly. It's all about Mori, and I am very, very happy with what he does. Anything he says, now I believe him because in past many people told me, say, "Oh, we can do this," but it never comes out to something. So something like that. The true story is. Now maybe you can ask Mori, but.
So, Marianne, I used to go see the Dalai Lama when he gave public talks, and I've seen him a number of times, and I noticed almost at the end of each talk, he would say to people, if you have a religion that's important to you, then you should keep it. He doesn't, as Buddhists, we don't go out looking to convert people. Other religions do, and that's fine. That's their operating system. We don't do that. And what the Dalai Lama would say is, but if there's something from Buddhism that you think is going to help you, then take it. We want to share it with you, whether it's, meditation or teachings on compassion or emptiness. So what we were thinking was, obviously Lama teaches a lot of Buddhists all over the world. And of course, non-Buddhists come to learn as well. We wanted to create something that could be offered not only to Buddhists about Buddhism, but to anyone that can pick up a book and very easily find out more about a topic from the Buddhist religion. So that was the motivation behind writing this book.
Well, I'm so delighted that you both have written this book, and what a great addition to the collection of books on Buddhism that you have already written. When people talk about the Buddha in you, what does that mean, Mordy?
People think that, I'm going to go pray to the Buddha. The Buddha's out there somewhere, or there's a statue of the Buddha, or let me think about, some great deity in Buddhism that's out in the ether, or, lived a long time ago. And, we kind of separate ourselves from that. There's me, and now I'm going to go pray to Buddha or to the Lama or to the Rinpoche. And that's not really, and that's beautiful, but really, what we believe is that there is a Buddha inside of us, Buddha nature, all of us, all sentient beings. And so that's a part of us. So it's not something separate. It's not a dualistic concept. Buddha is part of us. So that's why it's the Buddha in you, not the Buddha and you, which would be more dualistic.
What would you like to share on that, Rinpoche?
Oh, yeah. And the truth is, Buddha or the evil or demon or Mara, whenever you call, the seeds is already in ourselves. So, which is you wanted to develop in, you already have the seeds. When you have nice seeds, the seeds you want to plant in, you need a good soil and water, air, sun. Those conditions, these seeds become spruce to tree to fruit, flower to benefit all different lives. Exactly, we have to recognize not a Buddha somewhere like India or somewhere, or maybe this statue or tanka or painting. No, the Buddha is within your mind. You have the seeds of Buddha. Then you want to nurture that. That means use skillful means of wisdom and compassion, study and meditation. Those two become your ordinary mind, become extraordinary mind. Buddha born in your own mind. So that's the reason we talk about Buddha with you.
I love that. And so, Rinpoche, what do you think draws people most to Buddhism today?
I think as everybody calls Buddhist is a religion of peace, and that's the reason the draws. But also, anybody really begins to a little bit study Buddhist, then Buddha Dharma is not is you depends with anybody. It's just a sub religion. So you don't need to change anybody. You can change within yourself. Buddha's teachings, there's a many levels, needs of the sentient beings. Somebody wants to live in with the family, everyday business. You can Buddhist. You can want to be monk and live in caves or monastery. You can be a Buddhist. You can be a doctor. You can study loving kindness, compassion, wisdom. You are Doctor Buddhist. You are any kind of work you have. This is a way of life, and I that's the reasons I think that the when people study the something I look in. This is a sort of this path scientifically, relatively, ultimately to Nirvana or Buddhahood. It's so beautifully they see it. I think it's very easy to anybody understand this the inner wisdom. There's no doubt easy to go, but and the Buddhist is it's not outside, inside. It's work with our mind. I can say science of the mind because we study about how works minds, consciousness, energy, blah blah. We divide that. We talk about that. So there's so many ways we can talk about that. But anyway, the simple is the really the essence. The Buddha Dharma is the peace and compassion, and that's the reasons I think a lot of people wants to and follow this.
Now, Morty, I really liked how you talked about how the Buddha resides within us. And in the book, it describes Buddha as a man, not a god. How does this distinction shift people in how they relate to his teachings?
I think that if we focused on some God, for lack of a better word, that is outside of us, that's not human, then it's very easy to say, I can't achieve that. That's a God. I can't achieve that. It's something way, way, way over my head. But the beautiful thing I think about having a real person like Buddha tell his story, do his teachings, obviously it's passed down through 2,600 years, is, well, and he uses himself as a model. Basically, what he's telling us is, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm human, just like I'm a man. I'm not a God. So I find that very inspiring and gives me hope that one day, I don't know, maybe this lifetime, maybe not, it's achievable. That level of calm, peace, inner peace, you want to call it nirvana, is achievable by any sentient being.
I think that is so encouraging for so many people. And Rinpoche, can you share the significance with us on the Four Noble Truths and how they can be practically adapted into modern life?
Yes, it's a Four Noble Truth is first the Buddha's the first teachings, which is Buddha and deer forest, and then he become enlightened. Then he's found this profound transcendent wisdom within myself, and he wants to be and stay in that deer forest, and and then the kings all different uh, uh, disciples asked to train way of Dharma, and then he went to Saranatha and the first the five disciples. And also there's Yakshas, Rakshas, Nagas, different spirit realms also attended the Buddha's teachings. And the Buddha's teaching starts with the doesn't matter man or woman, doesn't matter rich or poor, doesn't matter caste system, lower or high. It's a matter is our motivation. And also Buddha say, uh, in you just guess in this something work, you don't need to follow that way. You can first is you wanted to are dealing with the gold. If a gold dealer, you wanted to gold business, you have to study gold and how to the best gold, or what, how many kinds of gold, blah blah blah. So then you know exactly what gold, like a truck shit that you say. This way you have to follow the Buddha Dharma. Then the Four Noble Truth is that they're very simple. Everybody don't wants to suffering. You know, everybody wants to happy and peace. And why then we are suffering of all the animals in ourselves, in this world that we want to war, want to hate, competing, me, and that's the reasons we don't see the suffering, and that's why the Buddha started with the Four Noble Truths. Everybody understands this. All the levels they understand this. The Buddha gave different levels teachings, different places, different training way of Dharma. But this is the basic, the truth of the suffering. Dungar Hiparshas. And why we are suffering. So it starts with in that place. So because impermanence. The suffering and suffering of the suffering. And something's is empty. Something's not belong to anyone, but we all really sort of have this grasping, all this. That's a reason to first. It's a very important to recognize of the suffering, because suffering comes the grasping, and so we don't want to suffer, but we have to see the what brings peace and the and wisdom. What brings the suffering? We have to see And that's the reason, the cause, the Buddha tells the truth of cause of suffering. So the cause of suffering is all the ignorance. You see, we don't see ourselves like, oh, I know I'm better. I know better. And this kind, then I want this, I need this. And then when you want something, you have already begin to suffer. If you know how to accept, then no suffering. But then we want something. If we don't get it, then we upset. Then also we are anger, hatred, and then we have this wrong view, and then also we talk to others badly. All these things we have to see to all the suffering comes from this is the seeds of the bad karmas, negative karmas. You have to first the recognize, then you know this, then you begin to, oh, I can I can avoid. How do I can avoid? And then the truth of the cessation of the suffering as so it's like when you're sick, you take a medicine and to clear away and clear to your sickness. Exactly same way and follow the dharma to kind of there's different teachings Buddha gives the levels of the Sharvaka Tadbhakya vehicle teachings and great vehicle teachings, Mantrayana teachings, and begins to in this is all about how to tame our mind, working with our mind, and then and the truth of the path is we are sort of we kind of avoid to in this to see to we can when we begin to avoid anger, hatred, and things, then you already have peace. And so you don't know something, not judging, and become use wisdom to work in ourselves and to not creating wrong views or thoughts. Doesn't matter they are what they do. It's a very matter is yourself to really need the working with your own mind. Then you found a peace, kindness, and to become to be tamed our mind, become our mind is become compassionate, and slowly gradual ways that is the path. The path is when you need the actually when Buddha's teachings you first how to work with the mind and how to tame all the negativities in our mind to slowly our bad thoughts turns to good thoughts. The thoughts is just thoughts, but and become is a practice as a path. It's all everything is about the our mind, also karma, also there's a habit, there's of many lifetimes in this lifetime. So it's something really need is working with our mind to really follow the Buddha's the first level teachings of the Four Noble Truths. It's I'm sorry, I just tried to make simple, but something like that.
Well, thank you for taking the time to go through that. So appreciate you spending the time and explaining that, and that makes sense. And it has me thinking, Morty, I know in the book it talks about the middle way. Why is this so important for us in Buddhist practices?
That's a great question. So extremes don't really work. They may work temporarily, but extreme craving, extreme desire, extreme hatred, extreme aversion, they don't really work. Where we makes us have strong preferences, strong opinions, and when we are much more in the middle ground, much more open-minded to who people are and situations, we're not only more happier and more relaxed, we're actually breaking the habits that Lama just referred to about, these cravings and these graspings and these desires. There's nothing wrong to, I'm hungry, I want to go eat. Oh, there's a desire. But if it's no, I have to go to this restaurant. I hate eggs. Those types of extreme thoughts and positions can only be harmful to us. It's much more open-mindedness, which is really synonymous with having good karma, where we find, for lack of a better word, nirvana or peace in our mind.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
I maybe add a little bit few things there. So it says the middle way is there's many ways to understand the middle way. But what is we have to look is we say, oh, I'm happy, I'm sad. It's exist, not exist. Right, wrong, good, bad, day, night. Everything goes with that. In the Dungar Malu, all the suffering comes from those two places. If you avoid the meter of that, you see, so then that is the nirvana, the path of dharma.
Oh, I love that. I love that. How exciting that is. Well,
Just simple little. I just I don't want to take too much time. So good.
I always wish that we had hours to talk because we would cover so much. So, Rinpoche, what role does meditation play in discovering the Buddha within, especially for beginners?
Definitely, I will say in a beginners is very important to meditate on Lobjong. Lobjong is the precious human rebirth, impermanence, cause, in fact, karma, the suffering of the samsara. Those the four thoughts turn away from samsara. And I will say, if you work with that, you really understand this the impermanence. And then I will say the training the mind is the starts with the Shagni. Shagni is the how to sit in our mind. The sit in the mind is all the traditions, doesn't matter Buddhist or Hindus, there are many religions, they all have this kind of training of meditation. So that is kind of the foundation of all. And the foundation of the sitting the mind is first we really need to know how to relax. Because a lot of people has a hard time meditating because they have expectations. They think, oh, I have to be perfect, I have to be this, I have to be that. And then that anxiety takes over our mind. And then you try to meditate it like it is like torturing yourself. So that's why, and I will say, anybody wants to really interest learning this is begin to really no expectations, just the relax and breathe. And that's trainings. And then understand this, the Buddha within is there's many ways to understand this, the developing. But the first, our ordinary mind or our ordinary life have to be transformed extraordinary life. Then you can see, oh, wow, I always thought the Buddha was somewhere. No, Buddha said himself, and Kanjik Mupayiv Shepa Teim the Natababju, who has the devotion, I'm ready there. You see, and the Pamasamba was a Panjum Konmani Goni Tetsinayam Teishula Tetsitela Kupachikon. Pamasamba was said, I'm always at the entrance of your senses. Which way you want to see me, it's already there. So, but our monkey mind is need a little foundation works and practices. and slowly, I think gradually. First, also, I think is in this modern world, we need is accepting ourselves. If your body is tall, enjoy. Short, a little chumpy, skinny, doesn't matter. The real matter is the accept what we have and accept where we live, accept what work we do, and you don't need looking for peace. Then you found peace, acceptance, and then from that to all, Buddha is within is Buddha is not a Princess Siddhartha. Princess Siddhartha is the who shows the world to say man, woman, rich, poor, doesn't matter. Anybody want to be Buddha, you can. He shows to how to become Buddha, but there's a need a lot of discipline and a dedication and a devotion and understand the clearly from our heart. So therefore, I will say starts with the relaxation to really know how to relax, then how to surrender our mind. Then you are can begins to Vajrayana meditations and mandalas and deities. Then actually your is become your body is the mandala of the five Buddha families. Which way you want to practice, that way works already. Something like that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And Morty, I found, actually for both of you, man, that chapter on interdependence is so profound. How does this understanding of our connection to others change the way we live?
This is my house and this is my stuff. And that over there, that's your house and that's your stuff over there. That's one attitude. And it's unfortunately becoming more popular. Me and mine and you and yours. And that's the attitude that creates wars. And we've seen that and we see that now all over the world. But that's a very superficial view of life. Because the fact of the matter is we all breathe the same air. If there's a fire in Canada, there's smoke in the United States. If there's smoke in the United States, we get sick. Maybe we can't grow our crops. I can't ship out grain to another country. So we're really very, very interconnected. And when we have that understanding that my life is reliant upon you and your life is reliant upon me, and as the Dalai Lama says, we're all brothers and sisters. We're all the same in many, many ways. When you understand that, it's a lot easier to have compassion for others, to want to help others, and so the realization of that true interdependence really, as Lama just said a few moments ago, it helps us relax a little bit and not get all crazy about this is mine, that's yours, I want that. It helps to reduce the craving and helps us to really support each other, other humans, other sentient beings, anyone that's on the planet, really.
I will add a couple of words, so maybe good. Yes, everything is connected. Buddhas talk about Dhamma Buddha. There says no distance, no such thing time. Everything is a oneness of connected. And scientifically, the wide, then it's like a stars, the wide space, then the air, earth, the water, fire, all connected in our living this green planet. The inner, we all also the bodies of the elements connected, and the mind level is there's no distance. Buddha say talking teachings of 2,600 years ago. There's no distance. But today's world is we can talk in together in just a little piece of material, and we can talk to other side of the world, having tea and conversation, business. You see, everything is connected. So if we like, for example, is me is a one person, and there's 7 billion people in this world. So, but the mind level. in the elemental level, energetic level, all connected. Now you see, I'm angry. I am also this energy sent to out to the world. You see, but if I begins to create in the peace and prayer, actually I send into that energy to the world. You see, sometimes we think I'm just one person, I can do nothing much, but think about just a little tiny candlelight. It's a very tiny, but the light brings the light. You can let in up that little light, 100,000, countless candles, or you can burn in the mountains or areas. Just they have power. And we have this wisdom and compassion energy through the meditation. We all have this gift we trust to really connect with the inner levels. So what I'm saying in this world is everything is relatively independently connected. So now it's a really, if you create a war, war burns war, hate creates hate, sadness creates sadness, anger creates anger. Even though some things the world, what's going on, we don't like it. But if we can change, we have to do our best to change that. But if we can't change, it's don't lose yourselves ourselves, because if we lose with anger or hate or any, they have consequences, energy, karma you created. That's why it's very important to really deeper from prayers and loving kindness and compassion with wisdom. Though this world need a lot of wisdom and a lot of compassion in these special days and special moments. So anyway, something I thought maybe that's something good. Just out of that.
Appreciate you taking the time to share that. So, Rinpoche, and why don't we start with you? What would you like readers and listeners to take away from this book?
You know, and this is a beautiful book. Really, Mordy worked very hard with the time and the energy included in this book. I'm just a partial kind of, it's he's the one really working everything. So I am very, very happily. This is a beautiful way, simple and a kind of simple way book. So, in anybody want to read and wanted to know more, then they can contact with me or Mori, and that way. And also, they wanted to have want to know a little bit, and or they have different thoughts about this. Also, they can contact. But our motivation is just these difficult times. Through this book, maybe some people can find the peace in their heart. That's just my wish.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Yeah, I guess I'd like to share with people that if you're out there looking, searching, want to be a little bit happier, a lot happier, this is a great opportunity. You could start anywhere, anytime, because as Lama said, it's all in our mind. Our happiness, our anger, whatever it is, it's all in our mind. We don't have to go to the store to go get fixed or go to India. You want to do that, that's great. But we can start now. We could start here, this moment. And I think the book supports that because it's a short book. It's simple to read and you can pick and choose, whichever chapter, short chapters, whichever chapter is most appealing to you to help you find some freedom, some joy.
Well, Mordy, where can people go to learn more about you and Rinpoche?
Rinpoche teaches all over the world. And if you go to his website, BuddhistSanDiego.com, BuddhistSanDiego.com, you can see all the calendar of events. You can contact Rinpoche, have questions, you want to study, you want to learn from him. That's the best place to go. Thank you for asking, Marianne.
Well, Rinpoche and Mordy, thank you both so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Thanks, Marianne.
Thank you very much again this opportunity, and I'm very happy to talking with you. And you have a beautiful heart, and your motivation is beautiful. And I feel your love and think about the world, and also give this opportunity to us. So our conversations may benefit many people.
Well, thank you, Mordy and Rinpoche. It has been such an honor to spend this time with you and to talk about your new book, The Buddha in You, A Beginner's Guide to Buddhism from Karma to Nirvana. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.